Hey Lauren, how you going? Overflowing Stage 3 Pit, thank you very much. Dave D, stand fast. The Drunk Aussie, great job the other day, mate. You too, Overflowing Stage 3 Pit, one of the first people in. The Foolish Dominator. I've been dominated by fools all my life. What do we got? We're about to start on this dead day of the week, the Wednesday. The least reason to dance. Rhinopolis, here he is. Applum Gamer, g'day mate. Timmy Doust. All the usual suspects here. Nathan Island but not stranded. Rory K, you were close to first but not quite, and the lurk was just below you. Because it wouldn't be lurking if you came first. Bounky, g'day mate. Spuddy Sims. Hey Kaz, did the jaw pull up? It did, mate, but I felt like I had a mandible hangover the following day. And I was just a bit brain fried for Father's Day, but my daughter let me take her to Ninja World for my day. Brandon Gold, g'day. Mr. Buckaroony, who's about to go south. We've got Tiddlywinks. Sounds good, unless you got a white van. Jack. Not what you want to be in a military career, but it's all good. And we've got Jordan Sayers here. G'day, mate. How you going? Kurt. Jenkins. Sergeant. Kurt Douglas. Kenneth Hall. Let us know, Buckaroony, when you're heading off, mate, so the channel also knows how to follow you on your trip. I don't know why you don't have something like Patreon as well, mate, so we can back you to hand out footballs on your trip to all of those that you encounter, where we could actually throw some your way. I've been doing 100 push-ups a day, Kaz. Never felt better. Foolish Dominator, I'm totally with you. I've had enough of this song. Let's roll. We're here. I can't get this light exactly right, so it always looks like I'm being interrogated. It was a dingo that took my baby, if you know what I'm talking about. Joseph Barker. Hey, Kaz, how are we? Were very good, Hannibal Barker. Did you actually choose to go through the pass with the elephants? Only one made it, didn't it? Diamond Bravo. Sounds good. What was your rank, Kaz? My rank was sergeant. Some of that my choice, some of that military, mate. I believe that everyone in the military gets promoted one rank above what their ability is. And from there, they tend to not have a good last year of their career, because it's normally either injured or in a position they didn't want to go to, but they were pushed to continue promoting due to schema, etc. The careers managers, rather than staying what suits you and the skill set that allows you to give your best, so to speak. Friday, Mr. Buckaroony takes off. Can you let us know quickly, mate, exactly where you're going to go to? I was listening to your stream the other day, but I had to go just to catch up with my little girl. Hey, Drunk Aussie, how you going, mate? Just stopping by to say hi to everyone. Still working. I'll have to watch later. Drunk Aussie, Mutsu Cow. Don't let us send you broke, Drunk Aussie. There's no need for the donations to keep rolling in. But it is great to have you here all the same. Drunk Aussie. Is that what you do for a living? You taste the brew of the brewery and decide whether it's worth a pretzel that makes you thirsty. Let's throw the intro out there, at least before Drunk Aussie gets out of here. Hey team, how we going? It is Kaz from In the Trenches with Kaz, and I just wanted to ask you one thing. Did you know that there ain't no sunshine when she's gone, even though he's the best dad ever? It's for you, Mr. P. Thanks for coming here today on this Wednesday, the dead day of the week, where weird news happens. There's no reason to dance. It's the day before payday, or the realisation it's off payday. Here we are today to say bon voyage to 7 Platoon. Too late, always 7. They've begun. It's only just begun. Just begun. Just begun. And it's time for 14 Platoon to start to prepare their last meal. West Side, Jay Hayes, are you out there? Team, today we're here to talk to you. Let's do that on this Dead Wednesday. And we've got some twists to today, not twisties. Life is straight without them. So let's get to it. It's all about you. 7 Platoon, 14 Platoon, this guy and you. Let's get to it. So we've got lovely Lauren there who's always with us. Thank you, directors. Fugly the other day was working, but was the first donation of the power stream that we did. There are so many people coming up and going, how's your gob going, Kaz? But they knew that I gobbed off for a living. So that's fine. Tonight we're talking back about military again. We've also got some questions for a little bit of a twist on the topics tonight. And I'll be sending them out to you and they'll be coming up on the screen soon. Giuliano Sticker, it sounds like a shot that you'd take before a hen's night. Great to have you here. Jaden Harrison, hey Kaz, hope everyone's doing okay. Great to have you here. Mr. Buccarooni, did you ever do resistance to interrogation training, mate? I did it. Did it twice, was not a pleasant experience. Stark naked in the nude was embarrassing. Not for me, mate. I knew the shock was going to be theirs because I hadn't wiped my clacker properly and I hadn't shaved it like I do these days, just in case I get taken down by a sailor and I don't want to, I don't want to pull the hair out there. But I also had to drop me strides. Funny enough, there was ladies in the tent as well and we were blindfolded. Only one gender would be allowed to do that. Could you imagine what would happen if they reefed down a woman's clothing now in front of a female? In front of men and said, bend over, like they made us do? Seems like there's only one, judicial system out there for one gender. What they used to do to us, holy shit. I wonder if they took photos of you, bucko. I wonder if you're on a calendar somewhere in Turkey. DFRDB day tomorrow. There you go, Mr. Buckaroony. Hope that also that the DVA stuff's going well for you, mate. Lauren, g'day Glennie Jones. Please have a thumbs up below or at least a thumbs down with a good reason. The screen and subscribe if you can. Subscribers is what gets us through the day. But not only that, it's turning up for the Forever channel, the best channel, your channel. And if you can do us a favour, Kaz, can you up the volume? Of course I can. There we go. How's that, mate? Is that a bit better? Even better still? What about that? Okay, Tim, it's usually a bit quiet, actually. Sorry, it's my fault. PK, hope AK's doing well. Bailey's hat, where are you going to put it tonight, mate? And that's a bloody fantastic name. Iron Wolf's dad. Hey, Kaz, you ever been in Special Forces? No, mate. No, I haven't. I applied in 1999, but then we got Diddy out over to the village in East Timor. And when I came back, met what I thought was the girl of my life, never got my head back into the place and realised, you know what? Infantry's hard enough on a hard day. Plus the bravado, the friendships, worked with plenty of Special Forces guys. It's not for everyone. And it's not until you've served in infantry that you realise it's not for everyone. Some people don't like sitting on red line. I don't like sitting on red line. I like taking it easy. And as we get a little bit older, we all tend to like to take it a little bit easier, but you can't do that when you're in Special Forces. Therefore, no, I swipe left. That's great now. Oscar Manning, he made it. You get an Oscar for that. Rory K, Nathan Island, not enough Zoom to catch me out in a calendar. Yeah, what have I missed? Not much, Oscar. We just got on. Googs Aussie Adventure. Where are you off to next there, Googs? Let us know. I hope I haven't butchered the name there, mate. Yes, mate, way better. We've got Rick Cuthy. G'day, everyone. Sorry, it's my eyes, not your writing. And Adrian Wilson, hi all. How is everyone tonight? It's we've got so many people back in green now since the stream the other day where we had like 12 new members get on. Take into account it's only another 3 days till there's about 12 people that get promoted to full corporal inside the chat. If you want to do that, then all you got to simply do is go on the join button beside the subscribe button, and what you'll see is a way of joining there to support the channel so I can get further abroad to help people or to help myself or do something more entertaining for you or even come to some parades after this is all over with. Attaboy's always here, Low Gang. And Stewie, make that soup, son. Thermal vision. That sounds like it'd be a good thing, but I reckon it'd be a bad thing if you're in the wrong area, in the wrong postcode. Emperor's Toast, that's awesome. 14 platoon march out there about 3 months ago. Yeah, it rotates around, mate. It rotates around. at the moment, we've got 7 platoon. They're all now in Kapuka, probably in quarantine, getting used to the daily grind, trying to create a routine so they can relax a little bit. It would be a terrible day for them at the moment. This is the first day they woke up. The names we're talking about here, I'll just move that best dad ever cup so I can see this. We're talking about 7 platoon here. Who's in 7 platoon? That's Buffer, who's going to Artie. That's Mitch. That is Andy Me. That is Terman. Lovely Terman. Okay, and 14th is about to go. And that is Sprung. That is Adrian. That is some Aussie guy. It is Snowy. He's been here forever. The young guy. It is Mastox. It is Peter Cram. It is Alex Burrell, not Alex Baldwin. And also Luke. They're all getting ready to go as well. They'd be, counting down the days, just wanting it to get going. And it's always terrible the last few days, waiting for your life to change completely. We've got 14 platoon toast, same mate. There you go. Dave D down there, who's sitting in quarantine as we speak, getting 3 meals a day delivered to him while getting bush pay as well. Army Reserve. Why wouldn't you do it? They get paid more than regular soldiers, and they have a ball, and they only have to turn up when they want. I was a fool. I should have stayed in Army Reserve. He's getting paid bush pay to stay in a 4-star hotel and not allowed to leave your room, and then forced to watch Netflix while eating gourmet crinkle cut chips. What a legend. And he's probably getting paid by his work as well. I wonder if Aaron's going to keep all that cash. Stewie, maybe buy another Everest. Here's going to be a question for you. Hey, Jared, there you go, mate. Hey, guys, I'll have to watch this tomorrow. It's fine, mate. It's fine. It's not like milk. It's not going off. I'm going to throw a question up here for you to see what you think about it. We've got a series of questions just to test your brain a little bit. And what this is going to become is a member exclusive and Patreon if you want to. But a lot of people in Patreon have doubled up as members. The reason being that Patreon is dedicated to other people, assisting others like Roddy and Loretta, like the homeless, like some other projects that I'm considering at the moment. Next, el otro, as I'd say in Spanish. But the members, I'd like to have the ability for them to ask questions that can ask everyone to make your mind go, I don't go for the military stream, I go there for the random questions. So here's one for you. This is a dilemma, and we're going to throw this one out. JC, here he is. G'day, mate. How you going? JC, I'd be interested in what you think of this one, considering in your life you're probably thinking you give your service for this. What we'll do is we'll get rid of the back screen, John Rambo, for a second. Wait a sec, where is he? We'll get rid of him for a sec so I can see the question. He is ready for it. Mr. Buckaroony, I'd be interested to see your answer on this one. Have a good think about this, and what I want is a dark hand for yes or a yellow hand for no. And the question of the moment is, take some time to think about it. Here we go. Bam. Would you stay on the Titanic to save others as a gentleman, if you're a man, or say equal rights and take up the room of 2 and then complain out loud that the blanket that they've wrapped you in is making you itchy? Let's have the hand of colour for yes, I'd stay on the Titanic, and the yellow hand to say, nope, I'm on the lifeboat. I'm worrying about this one so I can get home and look after my ones. What do we got? What do you reckon, Lauren? Hand of colour or yellow? Yellow stays on the Titanic. Oh, Nathan, he's overboard. There we go. Overboard is Hammy. Jared's over. Dave D's surfing the Titanic all the way down. There we go. Oh, Diamond Bravo. Our first yellow hand, I'm staying on. Okay, Lauren's staying on as well. You don't get a choice, Lauren. They're going to 1, 2, 3 and toss you over onto that boat. George Aussie Adventures. We got some stayers. We got Weston. He's staying on here. Abandoned ship, Diamond Bravo says. There he goes. Can I get some more foot room? Ashwan, coloured hand. Okay, I get ya. Tidy winks. I'd find Kate Winslet and use the rest of the door as a flotation device. You know what? I'd probably kick her off too if I knew how the way their story ended with her saying she never mentioned Jack's name again. I wish she'd gone down with that bloody door. And then threw the diamond into the sink as well. I don't have a coloured hand. You do in real life, mate. I'd have to help people out, die a hero rather than live as a coward. A chicken hero? They used to come with a bit of beak in them, those that you remember what it was like to have the alternative to the kebab. Mr. Buckaroony, he'd stay on until all the girls and kids are off. What's your cut-off, mate? What if one of them's 80? Would you die for her? I probably wouldn't. Really seeing people's real colour. Yeah, that's all right, mate. These questions should be asked. You just want another one. Do you just want another question? What do we got? Well, we got that one. Okay, let's turn that question off. Where's the next one? You know how it goes now? And a colour for yes. Yellow hand for no. Oh no, this one's more of a question. Here you go. Get ready to type this one in, team. And let's talk about this for a second. What happens if we become a cashless society? Think of this. It's a bloody rort for starters. It's a way the government can make sure that no one can dodge paying tax. It is so people don't necessarily send their money back to the country they came from instead of supporting the country that they're saying they came here for. It is so tradies can't get black cash anymore. It's so buskers can't get paid unless they're sitting there with an FPOS machine going, yep, I'll take FPOS. It's so you can't keep track of money. Does money actually exist? It's a promissory note. It's not backed by any gold anymore. If we become a cashless society, the ultimate control, if you don't play the game, can you just get cancelled? It's going to be interesting. What does it mean to you, a cashless society? Are you someone that survives on the little bits you get on the side? All the little side hustles that are about hard work? Only use cash at the school canteen, I'll be fine. Spartan Mouth, you're never going to know what it's like to live in a world with cash. Mr. Buckaroony, I never carry Kaz anymore. FPOS up, there you go. It's a good way of spending $1,000 in a day and not seeing where it went. Cashless society, it is good, although people would abuse it. We would be low on food, I feel, and low on essentials maybe. Hammy, I agree, but I tell you, there are so many people that absolutely rely, drug dealers and bikies would be spewing, Alec. There's a lot of things that are all cash on the side that are probably unable to be done, because of the overheads, if you didn't have cash up front, etc., for the discount. Too expensive to get as the client, too expensive to do it legit as the contractor. Cashless society, very dangerous. I agree, Action Jack. I save all my coins in cash may be a great gift. Already now, if they catch you with $10,000, I believe they can do forfeiture, which means they take it off you, and then you've got to be able to prove in a court of law why you had it. I know they can do that in the USA. It'll be the end of strip clubs. They're over anyway, aren't they, Eros? Who goes to a strip club? Let's go there and get a STD as quick as we possibly can while paying for it $20 at a time. Since Instagram came out and fangirls, which a young lass has destroyed apparently. In case you don't know, some celebrity that I'd never heard of went in fans only and said $200 a person, and I'm going to switch from being an actress into being a fans only girl with special content, but then didn't deliver the content after making more than $2 million. And now that whole fans club organisation is being ripped down. Yep, it's really hurting people that used to live off it. And to me, there's nothing wrong with that. If there's a lady that wants to work transactionally and she's telling you exactly what's going on, I give this, you pay that, there's no foul in that. Both people are happy. It's all up front. But don't say you're going to show your parson's nose and then show your belly button instead and try to get by. Kind of peppers. Nothing wrong with a show, Kaz. Lots of laugh. Give our patrons a break from attention. You won't get it from me. Who was it? I can't remember her name. You know, I didn't look at her and go, Amanda Holden, yes, please. Hey, Kaz, I absolutely smashed my PFA. I don't know what I was thinking about. I ship out on the 22nd of September. Well, that's not long. That's just straight after the 14 platoon. You know, that's you next. Fantastic news. What's going to be your last meal, mate? Fig Mini. Hey, Kaz, I absolutely smashed a PFA. Yep, excellent. How many push-ups did you get out of curiosity? What do you call smashing a PFA? How many push-ups did you do? What did you do your beep test running? And how many sit-ups did you do? Be a good option for someone stuck in a hotel room, Lauren. Yeah, Belle Thorpe, something like that. That could be the name. Sounds like a marathon swimmer. Okay, it's a bit late, mate. Hard yakka, great to have you here. Did you bring the helmet? Looks like you did. B. Weston, Bella Thorne. It sounds familiar. Dave's getting an OnlyFans, folks. He's gonna show the stump where his foot nearly came off against the thread. I found the PFA a lot easier when there's people next to you. Human competition's a big thing. Never heard of her. Neither did I. Are you saying that a name doesn't matter? Okay, that one's out the way. What's the next one? Bam. Here's an interesting one. What is the best random fact that you know? Put them in comments now. Let us know. We all might learn something here. I'll tell you one. Killer whales don't attack people, except in the water parks where they get held in captivity and go through depression. Otherwise, completely safe to swim with. Don't attack people, but everything else in the ocean tastes like chicken to them. 42 push-ups, okay. 60 sit-ups and 8.5 the boot test. My last meal will be, yep, okay, got ya. Some dirty KFC, but not the last piece. That ain't a hell of a dancer. I bet you are. Kiwis, you've got a musical advantage. Spuddy Sims, the pool in the Titanic is still full fact. I don't understand that one. Did you know that seahorses fall in love and mate for life? So do a lot of birds. I didn't know that. Seahorses. What a boring, useless animal they are, but everything's supposed to have a purpose. I'm not going on the 14th of September, Kaz. That was my mate, Buddy Little. Oh, okay, Pete. No worries. Is he still going on there? Dan Carter, hey, Kaz. 12 months ago, I discharged while at Kapooka to go to uni instead. I now would like to re-enlist, but into the reserves. Is there any chance? Hey, Kaz, 2 months ago, I discharged while at Kapooka. No. I would say they'd say, Dan, at least a year before you try again. What made you pull out at Kapooka, mate? Dan, if you don't mind us asking. Best friend, in fact, your nostrils work one at a time. Ha! I didn't know that. Cone and peppers. Cashless society only works with the barter system. Okay, that's how I survive. Help other for things I need. The access to hunting grounds and goods. Righto. Action Jack. The team that runs the most ones and threes tend to win 85% of one-day cricket matches. Put in the hard yards. There you go. Lauren is sounding. The collective noun for ladybugs is loveliness. That's nice. Do you know a duck's quack has no echo? A wood frog can hold its pee for up to 8 months. Jesus. Imagine how it feels when you let go. Mr. Buckaroony, my first job was a KFC cook. Do you know the herbs and spices, my friend? Hard yakka. Coca-Cola was originally green. I knew that one. I did know that one. David Crookshank, that's a good name. Playing the waiting game down in Melbourne. Just need to do my medical to get an enlistment. Dave, but restrictions are stopping them from happening. Mate, yep, it's the hardest time for everyone at the moment. It truly is. Just stay with it, mate. Coca-Cola originally had cocaine in it. I've heard that too. I'm not sure if it's true. Wasn't it actually a medicine when it first came out? JC, and you left KFC to be a cop. Buck, you idiot. That's a cop's dream job. Okay, Spud's going to let us know. The pool in the Titanic is still full because it's underwater. That's my random fact. Very interesting. And when you're in a Navy boat, we ask things like, if I don't turn the tap off, will we eventually sink? Peter, he's still going in, mate. Just wanted to make sure I wasn't on the list now. And when I'm actually going in, because that looks a bit sus. Yeah, that's a good point, Mr. Cram. Maybe you could say you're cramming yourself into the opportunities. Lauren's going to be back. Aaron, the Hitman Dixon, the Irishman, potato famine. All they ate was bloody chips and then came to every Western country and then took up fish and chips. Why didn't they just create a fishing rod when they were going through the famine? Aaron Dixon. Did you know that Kentucky... Oh, we've got him on the KFC. He loves it. Did you know that KFC, Kentucky Fried Chicken, is the only fast food that tells the truth? All the rest is a lucky dip. Who wants deep fried toenails? Ugh. That's pretty filthy. 1/4 of your bones are located in your feet. That means the number of them. Okay. But not 1/4 of your bones. Dave D, little known fact, leopards crawling is good for you after the first 200 metres. I tell you what, mate, how heavy does your head get? People talk about doing this for fitness, that for fitness. Crawling in sand, ask all the necessary questions. You'll be exhausted in less than 50 metres. You'll be saying things like, I want my mum, even if you don't know who she is. Mr. Buccarini, you can't discharge at Kapooka, mate. You failed. That's true. If you leave Kapooka, there's only one way you can leave, and that is medically or administrationally. That's it. And both are considered failing Kapooka. Administration, if you had to leave for a reason. Because by rights, you actually are supposed to say to your family before you go, in case of this or that, I will not be leaving Kapooka. I will finish what I start and then I'll come back afterwards. When we go overseas, sometimes we get opportunities when someone passes away. Okay, I'm not coming home. There's a job to be done. I've got to keep people alive. I've got to watch their backs. So I don't know what the thing was there, Dan Carter, but it is true. It's failing. Hey, guys, just wondering how much a criminal record would impact my recruitment process. Risk 21? It's a risk. I would say massively. It's a one, what do you call it? It is a case by case, but when their door is already jam-packed, like Boxing Day sales of people trying to get in, and then you give anything that can disqualify you, that can really go against you. And it depends what it was for, what you did, and the reason why you did it, and how long ago it was too, and will it actually come back, and is it resolved? So it's an interesting one. We'd have to know a lot more about it, and this is probably not the place to talk about that. For your sake, for your privacy, I mean. Hey, Kaz, I'm a non-citizen of Aussie, but I want to join the infantry. What are my choices? Your choices are to become a resident of Australia. Once you become a resident of Australia, make sure that you've got all of your documentation and that you are attempting to become a citizen of this country. If that's the case, then you can actually apply for military service. But you have to be a permanent resident of this country. Double D. Little known fact, leopard crawling is good. Okay. JC. Lies, Double D says. Fanta was made by... Okay, I didn't know that. Joining infantry as a smaller bloke. Jamie, it all depends on the size of the tick of the fight and the dog, so to speak. If you've got a big heart, mate, and you're a tough kid, and you can take a knock, often smaller people in infantry do very, very well because they've got that combustion engine, that anger inside that the small man has that allows him to make up for the weaknesses. Right? Where a lot of times big guys, you would assume would be great at everything, tend to rest on their laurels, have long levers, which make it very hard for them to do things like lift their own body weight, etc. So everyone is their own, the master of their own carcass, so to speak. And it's what have you done to be able to move it in. If you are very, very strong, very, very fast, very, very angry, you'll be all right. Liam O'Brien, there is enough wire cable in the Golden Gate Bridge to wrap around the world several times over. Pretty good. Mr. Buck Rooney, no, mate, the flour came in 20 kilo bags from Nestle. Spices were already mixed in. There you go. Southern Land Bushcraft and Survival, great guy. Fantastic bloody Instagram page as well. Old school, looks like it could be anywhere up to 200 years old. I love it. I haven't been on there for a little while, mate. No disrespect to any of your photography, which is fantastic, or the content. It's lately we've just been thinking about Roddy and Loretta. In saying that, team, a little bit can't enlist until you're a citizen. No, you can. You can enlist as before you're a citizen. I believe you have to be going through the paperwork to become that, and also have proof of your last country that you are not you don't have a criminal record. You've got to be able to do medical records, all that sort of stuff, full transparency. Because remember, to get into the military, you also need to have all of your secret clearance done. So that basically cleans up all of your past. And if there's anything in there that is missing, then you just simply won't get in. Yep. And that can be to do with your criminal record. That can do with your medical. It can be that you come from a country that is considered unscrupulous, or someone who is not aligned with the views of this country as well. Albino Nick, g'day mate, how you going? Emma C, the ladies are back in town. Lauren's still against it, but have given up arguing every day. What's that one, Emma? Hayden. Hi, Kaz. What time do Kapooka march outs happen? They're not happening at all at the moment. I'm in the RAF, got permission to watch on Friday, but wanting to confirm time. There is no march outs at the moment, mate. I don't believe at all. I'd make sure about that one, mate. Otherwise, you'll be standing at the gate like a weirdo. They normally happen for the military in the morning. You know, I think it's about 8:30 or 9 in the morning. Yep, and then it's a full day event, meaning that you do the parade. That's where you'll get taken to. And then from there, the parade occurs. And then from there, you go over to the Soldiers Club. And then from there, they will go and get changed out of their polyester uniforms. They'll get into civilian attire. And then you all go into the barbecue, go and see where they get their photos. You can buy photos, paraphernalia, overpriced every time. And then go into the Vic Hotel in Wagga Wagga, which is not a racial slur. You don't get overcharged for the price of a bloody VB, vermin broth, said to all of those that watch the southern football states. What else we got? If we got anyone here from 7 or 14 Platoon, we're not going to have someone from 7. I know we've got some people here at the moment that are sitting in quarantine at the moment, getting paid to watch this. Fantastic. Ron Kaz, have to be an Australian citizen before you go to assessment day. Really? Okay. Before you get to assessment day. There you go. Okay, because I thought there was something in the ADF website in recruiting about people that want to, out of country people that want to be an Australian soldier, for example. Okay. Yeah, because they've updated it. You need to be a citizen. Okay, that's fair enough. It's fair enough. But I still think it's a beautiful thing that should be part of your citizenship, is that you can come and join the Australian Army, and then at the end of that 4 years, you've given commitment at least, or maybe make it 6 or 10 years, and then your family gets citizenship as well. I think that'd be a beautiful way. You learn the language, learn the spirit, learn the sports, okay, learn the history, and then represent the country in the uniform with the Australian flag on your arm. There's no bloody, what do they call it, fake diamond. Help me out, Donny Brasco. Fugazi. There's no Fugazi here. It's the real deal. Sanchez. Kaz, are there many blokes in infantry that don't drink? There's a lot now. There's a lot of people now that I believe have got the Adonis theory that tend to, syndrome or whatever, that tend to overtrain. Just try to turn themselves into bodybuilders. There's a lot of people who do that. But I'm not going to knock them because it's healthy. A lot of the drinking sort of culture has fallen away a little bit as well, which is not a bad thing. We used to drink a little bit too much, but sometimes that's a great way of unwinding, so to speak, when you actually come back from 2 weeks, 6 weeks in the field, or get an opportunity for concentrated relaxation. Sometimes the best way to the mind is to have a couple of beers. The problem is sometimes it turns into a 0 on the end of said 2 and becomes 20. And then whatever happens next, is almost a case of insanity. Didn't know the difference between right and wrong. Bloody misadventure causing the end of careers, so to speak. I drank a lot when I was in. Hey, Greggy Palmer, how you going? That rules me out, Buck. What do I say in there, Buckaroo? If you have a criminal record, you are not welcome in the ADF. Try the French Foreign Legion. French Foreign Legion too. They'll take you, but even they're getting picky now apparently. Thoughts on Hayden Taylor? Thoughts on Adgies in the RAF? I don't actually think about them, mate. To tell you the truth, they've got their role, and we've got ours. Theirs doesn't correlate or overlap us in any way. We come in, secure a location. Once it's secure and we set up a McDonald's, they move in and then they guard a rectangle as a security guard, basically. If the trouble starts, we come back and we sort it out. That's it. They're not bad people. They're just people that grew up with their mum and dad or in the RAF, whereas I grew up with my dad in the army. Okay, but there is no mix-up between, for example, Special Forces and Aggies. There's no mix-up between infantry and Aggies. They might look the same to a potentially the untrained eye, but there is no correlation really. All right, that'd be a fantastic job to do if you're in the Air Force, but if I was there, I'd want to work with the dogs as well, or RAF MPs work with the dogs. That'd be good. Luke Morey, Emmy. No, you get on a bus from Kapooka straight to IETs. Yep, you don't get to go home. As a matter of fact, if you get on the bus at Kapooka to go to infantry, for example, and I say that because infantry is what I know, is your course ends on the Friday, yeah? And then on the Saturday and Sunday, you have that time with your family if they stay in the town of Wagga, and this is when everything was normal. And then on the Monday, you're already on the bus, heading to Kapooka. It'll take you the entire day to get there. You'll get there just as it's turning dark, and then the next morning you'll go and do a fitness test. And that'll determine whether you're going to go into the session or not. Or are you ready or undercooked? Don't go past go. You will no longer continue on with the people you went to Kapooka with. You'll stay behind until you're at a level where you can be trusted to go into training without being either a hindrance to them or chance being putting yourself in harm's way or getting an injury from the hard yakka that you will be doing at School of Infantry. It's a big step up going to infantry than what it is Kapooka, and you'll feel it instantly. Cannon Peppers, JC, I'm going for a driver's role. Driving on wheels. I had to explain my speeding fine, but once I explained it, they were fine, and that's not a major crime. Yeah, and it's not hard to get a bloody a speeding fine. No, just wanted Kaz's perspective on it. Hayden Taylor. Look, everyone to their own. And I'll tell you something else here. I saw Ryan Ward here. G'day, mate. How you going? All the members, all the Patreon as well. Not too cow, great to have you here. This is something I'm going to explain to you and say really matter-of-factly. Don't join a corps and then get butthurt if another corps looks down on you or you feel inadequate within that corps and you need to make excuses. You choose it. You live with it. Don't go for a support role and then have a problem because someone's infantry. Or don't go to infantry and then have a go at someone because they never get dirty, muddy or wet, but get paid the same. Because you also know that if you want to be comfortable, you don't go to infantry. But there's times where we're uber comfortable and they're working hard. I'll give you an example. Support are going to work bloody hard back in barracks, and they're going to work bloody hard when they're out bush. Infantry aren't going to work very hard back on base, but we work bloody hard out bush. And sometimes hard work is not actually accurate. Uncomfortable work out in the field environment. Not necessarily hard. We work very hard in pockets and patches. But when we're not doing that, we're sitting around with our commanders thinking, how do I keep these guys from getting themselves into trouble, and their hands become the devil's playthings. Whereas support people always have a role, always have a job, always have something to clean, always have something to service, and they can never quite catch up. So if you join infantry, that's for fun. It's for lifestyle. It's for patriotism, tattoos, bigger arms, and getting fit. If you choose a support, then it is for security. Okay, it's for the uniform. It's for patriotism. Okay, but there's also a role that you're doing, and you're going to get tickets in return that may be absolutely, okay, in line with the civilian role that you can step out and do. Right? But there is a big circle, a grey matter where we overlap. But don't blame each other or hold anyone accountable for what they do as a career, because this is the first time sort of in history where you get to choose it rather than it going on your performance at basic training, Kapuka, boot camp. Emma, how was your process of changing from reserves to full-time? I'm not sure who's talking to who there. Sea Potato, that's a fantastic name. If I haven't got you as a subscriber on this channel, Sea Potato, can you subscribe right now? Because we need a Sea Potato on this channel. I didn't even know they existed. What's the major difference between enlisting and becoming an officer? I'll give you a quick rundown here, and this might interest a few people. G'day, Greggy. Okay, so Sea Potato, I'm going to answer this question for your subscribe. Can you do that for me? Great deal. Righto, so this is what happens. When you go for your enlistment, you don't normally just go up and go, I want to be an officer. What'll happen is you'll have a meeting. And then from there, at the U session, they will determine, you want to be an officer, you want to be this, you want to be that. Okay, Quick Soldiers 5, what you want to do, who are you, what do you stand for? Then from there you say, I want to be an officer. Okay, well, no worries. Let's see how you go on your aptitude test. No, you scored too low. You won't be available to do that. Or yes, no worries. You scored very well. At this stage, none of that has got anything to do with leadership, and what you want to do means absolutely nothing to me. I don't care a Zach. Because the most important thing to me is the assessment phase. Because in the assessment phase, we already have the scores now, like someone is interrogating you and going, these are the things you unlocked with your problem-solving capabilities on the aptitude test. Don't get mixed up that infantry, because it's open at the lower level, means that it's not for the smart. Because people that go to infantry often are going there for the mateship, the patriotism, the lifestyle, being the spear point that everyone else is working towards helping. But when you actually go for the assessment phase, what's going to happen is you're also going to get set up if they decide, okay, we're going to give you a crack at going for your officer selection, because they're always after good officers as well. What's going to happen is you're going to have two things. You're going to have the assessment phase, but you're also going to have additional testing, and you're going to have a the Officer Selection Board, OSB, where you will go there with a group of up to 10 people, and you will actually be doing criteria to see and answering questions. Do you have leadership capability? Okay, it would be something like, give me an example of why you want to be a leader. Tell me when you've been a leader in the past, what makes you think that you're a leader and not a personality disorder that's coming here as a narcissistic person that doesn't want to share the trenches with the common man and woman. Diggers. So from there, they might ask you, who is a famous leader that you look up to? Someone that you look at, someone who motivates you. Give me an example of what you think leadership is. Talk about this topic for 5 minutes so I can see how you're able to communicate in a consistent manner with an introduction, main body, and conclusion. Okay, how about you tell me some negative traits about yourself? Because if you have no negative traits, then chances are there's something wrong with your personality. that you are unable to, one, take advice, and two, you might have yourself on a pedestal you don't deserve to be on. So from there, that is separate to the enlisted soldier that goes to the U session. These are your options at the moment. From there, we're going to move across to assessment. Is there anything wrong with your cornhole? No. Is there anything wrong with your blowhole? No. Is there anything wrong with your back? Is there anything wrong with your feet? Is there anything wrong with your head? What is your ideal 3 cores to go into? Where would you like to go out of 3 places? Okay, why do you want to do those? When do you want to go in? What could be holding you back? Are you fit enough to go on? So they're 2 completely different chains. Think as one as corporate and one as the ground level. The doers, okay, and the think tank. Yep, deliberately set apart. So familiarity should not be able to go against that. Juliana, every state has different laws and regulations on firearm licenses. I'm a big believer in rip the states up. Let's make us, or at least if you're going to have the states, one set of laws to bring places like Queensland and Victoria into line to stop them from going a little bit nuts, like they're off the reservation. Timmy Doust, OSB, that's the one. Thanks, mate. JJ, g'day, mate. Submariner, we're going low. E46, I'm not a leader, mate. Never wanted to be the leader. Hey, Kaz, what's the main roles for armoured vehicle crew? And do they have any experience with them? Absolutely. The armoured corps guys have been all over, the last bloody 15 years or more in operational service, veterans. Now I think they're veering away from just protected mobility and fighting vehicles in a tactical manner, and I think they're becoming a upgunned, it's a good question you're asking me, an upgunned weapons platform that can operate as a tactical force within itself. And I think they might even be bringing on something similar to the infantry, to the Army Reserve Cav, what do you call them? We'll call them Rangers that disembark from there and help them with default drills, etc. For those that don't know, there's a whole bunch of countries now getting rid of tanks altogether. Stepping away from tanks. I think because the weapon systems we have, a tank is no match for the birds of the sky, but the bird of the sky can get rid of the tank. So I think what's happening is location, detection, and lethality from altitude is starting to surpass that of the beast of the battlefield. Also the price to run them, the logistics to keep them going, and the fact that the armoured vehicles that used to operate beside them had 50 caliber machine guns and 30 caliber machine guns. Now they have 23 millimeter cannons, etc., that can pierce other armoured vehicles, etc., and have armour defeating weapon systems on them. So therefore we don't actually need tanks, and that also outlines here they don't see in a possibility in the future where they would ever need them against a peer battle tank scenario, because the amount of global enemies is almost gone, and they have other ways of taking care of only the last couple that are standing. So actions say a lot, and the retirement of battle tanks might be an indication of the peace on earth, where what we might be dealing with is radical elements domestically within countries than what we are against peer on peer, etc., which we call conventional. Hey, Kaz, what's in the first assessment for the infantry? In the first assessment, it'd be fitness. The very first one, before you can go past the line of departure that says I'm going into a session, will be the fitness test that happens the day after you get to the School of Infantry to say, are you good to go past here? Are you undercooked? Simple as that. Tyler, because on my first op, currently on rest, R2F, and I'm loving it. Good on you, mate. Tyler, Bonnie Tyler, total eclipse of the heart. Cav Scouts, Timmy Douse, exactly what we were thinking about. I read that British are axing the tanks, so's USA Marine Corps, and I'm not sure if they're going to get rid of tanks in Army. Timmy Doust, keep tanks, they're still cool. Nah, they're not. Oh, they are. they're bloody amazing. They're lions, but the cost to run them, the cost to maintain them, the cost of R&D to make the next one, and the risk that we may never use them. Australia has already said we'll never send ours overseas. Yep. Brandon Gold, when can my wife get an insight on me joining the army? She's supportive, but not sure if she knows what it's like. There doesn't seem to be much info for spouses. Brandon Gold, what I recommend you do, mate, is follow the Patreon, get on there, then you'll have a one-on-one contact with me, and I'll sit and talk to you and your lovely wife for an hour. But the best way to do it is to do that, get the phone number, and then it'll all be yours. The link should be below in comments. I'm not sure. Do that, and I'll talk to you as soon as you want, mate. Hey, Kaz, on annual leave at the moment. Well done, Ryan Wood. Been listening to the podcast called Life on the Line. Yep, I've heard of it. Heaps of Aussie veteran stories on there. May help and inspire some of the recruits to be. Look, I think it's awesome. I'd love to go on it. But I just run out of time in between creating, being a dad, looking after my own freaking mental health, and looking after others that have fallen through the cracks. G'day, oi, oi, oi. Thanks for the sharing, your wealth of knowledge. Scotty Reed, mate, that's a good name. Sounds like an explorer. Welcome here, Scotty. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe, mate. We'd love to hear your wisdom in the future too, my friend. And I always take into account that you're all friends. It's like starting with 100 points. Each one of you, when you hear me gob off about being an Aggie, or someone being a sailor, or someone being, you name it, you've still got 100 points in my book until you do something stupid or you don't earn, or those points start dripping out because you're not a mateship or team-orientated guy, or you're bad for the system. So good luck to all of you. Follow the footsteps of the Anzacs, however that translates in your brain. I'm happy for you. I support you. I want you to succeed. Male or female, you've got 100 points. Keep them. Liam O'Brien and the families that support him. Liam O'Brien, Mr. Buck. For those that don't know, Mr. Buckarini's got one of the best channels on YouTube for Australia. Because he streams, you see the context. He's about to go and experience the outback again. He's going on another trip. Between his channel and my channel, we're well aligned. We've met each other. We've hung out together. Mr. Buckaroony has been a prison guard, is a prison guard. He's been a police officer, and he's also been a warrant officer in the Signals Corps in the Australian Army. He's a wealth of experience, and guess what? He still is uncracked. His personality is still a positive force and a happy son of a bitch. He's a happy bloke, and he's surrounded by lovely people and great friends. And I share some of those friends. And Mark Lindsay's one of them. One of the best blokes I've ever met. He does great things, and he supports us, and we support him. We can't deploy the tanks anyway. Conan Peppers. Brandon, Kaz did a stream about it and a video for spouses. Was that on the last channel, Conan Peppers, or this one, mate? I can't remember if that was on the last channel. Brandon, it'd be a pleasure to help you, mate, because you know what? We need your wife to be on board with you, because if we don't have your family on board with you, then you can get dragged away like kittens playing with a piece of string until you don't know where the hell you are. Right? We're in modern times. We need to support the families that support the soldier, because you're not going to be in forever, and we need her to know that she's got a voice. Cab to switch back to horseback. That'd be great for officers to get around. Poor Dave is so upset. He went and did his training, did his officer training where they've got to go and do their soldier training first, and not once did he touch a sword. That's what he thought being an officer was about, the pair of binoculars and a sword. If he goes to cavalry, he doesn't even get a horse. Timmy Doust, cost to feed the lion is quite high. It is quite high, man, even when it's idling. Hi, Lauren and Kaz. G'day, 6-3 Yankee. G'day, JP. How you going? I'm really thinking about those salmon farms, mate. That's all I think about. Them and oysters. And I don't even like the taste of oysters. And I'll never wear something the colour of salmon. Damon. Matt Damon. Hey, JJ, did I hear Kaz right in saying you are? No, he's going to be a submariner. That sounds like an awesome job. There is not a person on earth that would believe you once you're qualified when they go, so what do you do for a living? I'm a submariner. You work at Subway? No, I'm a submariner. I go down below the waves, and what I do is I listen to the sound for pings, and from there, I guard the Girt by Sea Nation while remaining underwater and not having to hold my breath, hoping that I never follow the fate of the Kursk. Kaz, anything about the new Boxer vehicle? I haven't done any research on it there, Bucko. It'd be an interesting read, but... Bailey Styles, what's your opinion on the SSR? Okay, Bailey, my one is, even as a military guy, I stay out of that. I believe that everyone deserves a full transparency by a group of their peers, and I don't believe that's happening. I think it's been assassination via media. I don't think we're hearing the full story. I've got my own thoughts on that, and I don't think it's up to civilians to have an opinion that they can have an opinion, but it doesn't matter. It does because it's the perception. I get it, but they need to be told the whole truth and nothing but the truth so they can go, oh, okay, I get it. And they need to understand the rules of asymmetric warfare and what these guys, okay, you get the picture. I can't talk too much about it because the algorithm picks up anything that is not leaning in the direction they want it. Thoughts on the Hawk? I don't know much about that, but it looks fast. It looks good. Megan, g'day, mate. Hey, Kaz, I went on the 11K run through the bush yesterday, and my legs are killing me today. I could just picture you kicking yourself at the moment. Do you have any advice on how to properly warm down, cool down, and reduce soreness the next day? Look, that's going to be something, Megan, that happens. Footwear is very important. After that, you should follow that with a gentle cool down, another little run, maybe a walk for another couple of kilometres, or you go and get a coffee or a sports drink and hydrate, and just accept the fact the first few times you do it, it's going to cause soreness. Their major muscle groups is your legs. So naturally, when you push them beyond what they're used to, especially in a broken terrain, then what's going to happen is the ligaments in your ankles, okay, will be sore from being stretched somewhat in different directions that are making up for uneven surfaces. But there's a big difference between being sore and being injured. I think you're just sore, and that's fine. That's the price of living. Good job. Great job. Action Jack, there is an easier way to book a motel. I'm not sure. Buckaroony, Masket. Hey, Senor Masket. How you going there, Basil? Stay in the flags, Kaz. Yep, I've got to. How's the 343 clothing? Look, mate, to tell you the truth, the last couple of days, all I've been doing is dealing with what's happening at the moment with the fantastic Roddy and Loretta. Say as aware, I rang them, okay, the next day to say that it was a success. Okay, I rang Loretta and spoke to her, and I handed the case over exactly what I wanted to happen. The stream that we did for 8.5 hours, don't count the one video, there's 2 videos, back to back. Okay, and then from there, what's going on? Okay, he's dropped off. I thought he was saying I dropped off. So what happened was, basically we did an 8.5 hour stream for Roddy and Loretta. And then what happened was that got some exposure with some of my friends. Now, one of my friends is a real tiger, situated, not an actual real tiger. That's fake news. He went to speak to some people. He also called the family and said that he is going to follow this as far as it takes until he gets an answer, right or wrong, good or bad. So what we did was we created a movement, and you should be bloody proud of yourselves, because this is a family that had fallen through the cracks. Make sure you throw a thumbs up there now if you can, team. How many people we got watching? We've got 82 people on at the moment. We've got 7 thumbs up. No, we haven't. We've got 56. But we could get 84 now if you're not watching on a 65-inch TV, which is cheaper now than they've ever been. Well done, Sanyo. Yeah, so it's all looking great. It's all looking great. We're not trying to get our hopes up. I don't know if there's anything else going on. But when we do find out and this family gets awesome, I can't wait. Dare I tell you what one of my thought processes is that actually makes me feel like I get a lump in my throat and almost a tear in my eye. Googs, Aussie Adventure. Okay, here's a question for you that can be a tough one. It can be a tough one. It can be bipolar. And for those that haven't travelled overseas, it can be a difficult concept. Picture this. How far, just think about this one for a second, team. How far does $1,000 go in an Australian's pocket in today's day and age? $1,000. Okay, it'll buy you an Xbox. Fantastic. Xbox, not PlayStation, please. And get an extra controller, 2-second Smash 1 that came in the box. $1,000 doesn't go very far, and we all know that. There is people overseas in foreign countries who are great people, where $1,000 is more than they get in an entire month. There's people in countries overseas that if we were to be able to get the details of one of those families, given at the moment we were meant to be going to Vietnam the middle of this year to go and find a family near Nui Dat, okay, near Long Tan, to find a family there and be able to set them up and their children, to give them ability in this economy, a spiking nation, Vietnam, to give them a chance to build and educate, to teach them how to fish instead of just handing them that fish, so to speak. But that's all evaporated of what's going on at the moment. What I'd love to do is to be able to find that family and where we give them a cash injection. What is the amount that would give them that benefit in life, give them that step up, so to speak, that would mean absolutely nothing in Australia? You'd love to be behind that. Imagine knowing that every month there is a family nearly crying with, where did this come from? Who are these people? Out of 7.5 billion, they've chosen us. And when you think to yourself, why wouldn't you help an Australian first? It's not about just helping Australians, it's about helping someone. If we could do that and make a difference to someone, that would be a beautiful thing that lets you understand that this is the Forever Channel. This is the channel. It's not about words, it's about actions. We show that all the time. You know, it's just that no one seems to watch. It's a weird thing. But that's for another day. That's another day. Just ponder it. You know, I like to give you a little bit of where I come from and what makes me tick. And I want to create a legacy where people, when they hear that we're coming, they go, I want to help those people, because people power makes a difference. And we know that. 75 ups, Kaz. That's it. I'll accept 75 ups. That's nice. Cookie Monster, great to have you. Bali in Indonesia. Vietnam, I'd rather help. You know, they're a little bit further away. But we'll see, Cookie. You know, I'm open to suggestions. I am open to suggestions. I've got a room for a rent in Sydney if anyone needs one. JJ, the Submariner. Of course you would. Hour on Kaz time. Get off. Is that Mr. P? Have we been on for an hour already? Where are we? An hour and 4 minutes. Holy shit. Sophie, you won't be going overseas for a long time. No, you're right, Sophie. But there might be ways that we can find a family from someone that, and it'd have to be someone that knows someone that knows someone that knows someone. You know, you're not just going to go, who in Vietnam wants some free money? It's going to be a loud roar, you know. Venezuela's pretty bad. Dude, that'd be dead money over there, mate. You know, went from one of the 10th richest countries, took on socialism. Now they're in one of the lowest. Very, very sad. Every stream seems short compared to the epic stream. Lauren, it just goes like that now, doesn't it? Spartan Mouth, JC, could you recommend something I could do if I see any cops tomorrow, since it's going to be Are You OK Day. I didn't know that. I know you guys go through a lot, and I want to do something nice. I know they see it facetious there, Spartan, if you hand them donuts. Someone left the gate open. The cows are lost. They are, but I think everyone's a little bit. Gutted at the moment. It was a really, really big hit out on Saturday, and that's fine. We haven't got another member but today. We haven't had another member. What about East Timor? Sebastian White. That'd be fantastic. I'd love to support someone in East Timor, actually. I might look into that, because I know people that are in Timor right now. And you know what? I tell you what, the further you get away from Dili, the nicer the people were. Like Sydney, probably. We went up there. We went to a village in Ada Basalala, and when we turned up there, it was the cursed village. Because as we turned up, Charlie Company was in there, and they came out of there saying to us, you don't want to go in there. And there was people vomiting out the back of armoured vehicles, and we're going, what the hell is going on? And they say, we don't know. But people are getting struck out everywhere, and we go, yeah, no worries. We were there for less than an hour when we heard of someone vomiting on the ground. We're going, what's going on? About half the platoon, the next 36 hours, either had shit in their dacks or vomit on the grass. We'll never know what it was. Got your block exam tomorrow. Well done there, Mitchell. I hope you go well, mate. I don't even know what a block exams are. Not sure, Conan. I'm sure he pulled up fine. What's that one? You stole it, JC. You did the right thing, Sparta. You're appreciated, mate. We need more people like you. There you go. Buy 'em donuts, says Timmy Dow. Sebastian White. What about East Timor? Look, as we just said, I reckon that's an excellent target. Fantastic. And did you know, like Rio de Janeiro, they've also got the big Jesus statue as well up on the cliffs? Fantastic. It's about as impressive as me as I'm doing me 100 every day. I need to up that to something else. Barley sickness by the sound of it, Kaz. I don't know what it was, mate. But we lost our platoon commander. He got flown out with his dacks around his ankles and his shirt looking like a baby's bib. Timmy Doust. I got there first. There's a COVID RBT checkpoint just up the street and a Macca's across the road. Thought of getting them some chicken nuggets. There you go. Change the franchise. Good luck, Mitchell. Do well, mate. We're in your corner. In your corner. JC. Thanks, mate. But all I do at the moment is watch Netflix. What are we watching, JC? What are we watching on Netflix at the moment? Is there any Krakens here tonight? Anyone? Any Krakens? Anyone joining up as a member tonight? Is the screen going to go green for someone? Or am I going to talk until someone does? Got some Timor tummy. Maybe. I know I got malaria from there. That was a really good experience, actually. Could have been so much worse, but when you're in a hospital full of everyone that's the same, because it sounds like your pit. Command had explosive decompression. I got ulcerative colitis as well over there, which meant I was dripping blood and pus from me anus, like someone who couldn't fight on a submarine, not named JJ, on an off-pay week. All cops expect is that you just show them a bit of respect, obey the law, and be a good person. That's nice. Yeah, I agree with that. Don't buy cops food. We think people spit in it, and we'll throw it out usually. There you go. Shame our Maccas don't do the 100 packets of nuggets, Kaz. Who does 100 packet of nuggets? What Maccas does that? I'm looking to get in the army, and I don't know what job I want to do. Mitchell Star, that's the beauty of it. Stay with this channel, and we'll make you a star. You'll know exactly what you want to know by the end. You can be either a horseman, an archer, or an infantry, or you can be those that support them to be the cavalry, the archer, or the infantry. Hope the shoulder's going well, JC. Me too. Hey, Ron. JC, I don't blame you. Kaz just finished Netflix. The Mindhunter is fantastic. I love it. We've got it there. Sophie Wiener, bam. Welcome to the Great Unwashed. We've got our membership. I would have spoken all night till we got one. Sophie couldn't take it anymore, so she gave it in. Well done, my friend. And what a lovely name as well. Kraken. That's what it is instead of. Not too cow. The crack in it. It's the online Weinstein. The calamari of the screen. Welcome, Sophie. Welcome, mate. And in case you don't know the way it works, Sophie, 1 month from now, you're going to have the Lance Corporal stripe that you can see on Timmy Doust on Mr. Patterson. You know, you're going to see that jump up to full corporal, like is going to happen with the people on the 11th, which is the anniversary of when we started this nearly 2 months ago. And fantastic. Great to have you here. You're going to get promoted soon. Kaz, when was I in Tuaria? Mitchell Starr, when was I in Tuaria? I'm trying to think. I've had so many postings. I was there in 2000. I was there in 2008, I think, 2007, 2008. I'm not sure. It was the only battalion I've ever served in. You know, but I'd been on 4 postings. I'd been on CTC. I was there for a year because my bum kept bleeding and I couldn't go outfield. Not allowed to. Then there was the JLTC, Junior Leadership Training Centre, which does sub 1 for all corps. And then there was the I've had a lot more than that. And then I was a section commander at the School of Infantry for 2 years at Depot Company. And then I was an instructor in the tactics wing in leadership and tactics, you know, instructor for officers in the tactics wing division. And then I went a second time to there. But in between that, I was going back and forth, back to the 2nd Battalion. Unfortunately, in the early of this century, in the 2000s, there was 3 trips going overseas at one time, and I was the only senior NCO that never went overseas. And all of that was because of the bleeding butt. How long do officers stay at a unit? Normally they stay between 2 and 3 years, and then they'll rotate to their next step of their progression. Yep, 2 to 3 years. CTC, I was at CTC, that's... shit, you just put me on my ass here. It's in Townsville. CTC, God. Tell me. CTC. You just put me on my ass there. Basically, what their role is to do is an independent identity. What they are designed to do is take people through all units, through activities, test all levels, and then from there work out what are the sustains, the fixes, and the improves of their unit based around a mission event list that prepares them for operational service. Kaz, I reckon you need to do a chili chicken wings again with the next morning aftermath. Mr. Buckaroony, did you end up hearing that red lava fart that I did after doing the buffalo wings in the Gold Coast at Mooloolaba? That was horrible. It came out like Special Forces kicking down the door. Combat Training Centre. Sebastian White, well done, mate. That's the reason why you're getting the shirt as well. It still hasn't turned up, Sebastian. Neither is the very first one I've gone through. They will, and yours is going to be beautiful. It's a beautiful blue shirt with Duty First, 343, and then on the front, it's got the In the Trenches with Kaz logo. Only one of 2. You won that one with the meme of the month. Timmy Douse, LTs do platoon command, majors do company command. What do captains do? They will be the 2IC, the second in charge to the major, and understudy him as the 2IC of a company. When they're not doing that, they'll also learn about administration, brigade headquarters, the School of Infantry, and all those sort of places, mate. It's a terrible rank. It's mid-water between tactics. And it's very administrative. And it's probably where a lot of officers decide either I'm going to stay in or I'm going to get out. Water is not better than Gatorade. I still got me a can of Mother here. I haven't cracked that one open. Guys and gals, we might get out of here in a second. It is Wednesday. It is the dead day of the week. We're on 73 viewers. Hopefully, Jesse Grant. Hey, Kaz, what was meant to be enlisting at the 21st of September, but just got given a Class 4 medical for something I don't actually have. Do you know how many people that have successfully appealed Class 4? We've had Jessie. I wish I had your girl for starters, Jessie's girl. Grant, the name of the colonel that led the charge at Beersheba. I wonder if you're related. Good name. We've had a lot of people on this channel that have overcome Class 4 classifications, mate. So stay with it. Get involved. If you ever need to have some conversations with me, I can't really help too much with that. But again, the Patreon is a good way to have one-on-one conversations. The link is below, I believe. And from there, we can look at swapping numbers, have a conversation, see if we can't give you a gentle hand up over that wall, so to speak. Ethan Hill says, hey, Kaz, I'm beginning my enlistment in March next year. Any tips until then? All I'd simply say is look at the videos I've made to then. They'll all help you out. And then from there, put some skeleton questions on the tree. And then from there, let's have a conversation, mate. You'll be fine. Stay with us, and you'll be fine, like everyone else is that stays with us. Tiddlywinks. Hey, Kaz, if soldiers go out bush and miss a few weekends, would they typically have days off when they return to barracks? No, you don't. If you do a weekend, we'll say, for example, you go out field on a Tuesday, and then you're out for basically 10 days. When you come back, it'll almost be a weekend anyway, and they'll go, okay, there's your weekend. No big deal. You get field pay. You get leave allocated to you depending on how many field days you require anyway. There's none. They don't owe us those days. It's just the nature of the role, mate. Bend over is a nickname of the Parafel. Captains in companies are 2 ICs to the company. Yep. Evening all. G'day, Jessie. Jessie too. Jessie Doss. Jessie's girl. Callan Lou. Hey, sir, my best friend and I are planning on joining. He's aiming for general entry. Awesome. And I'm considering ADFA, so I can become an officer. Both finishing up year 12, so no HSC yet. When should we apply? As soon as possible. As soon as possible. And I'm going to explain this one to you again because there's 2 of you. Callan Lou is your best friend. You got to get rid of best friends, mate. You have friends. Is your best friend watching tonight? If he's not, then he's a crutch to you. Or you're a crutch for him. You're helping him. Get him on board. I'll help you together. Sit in the same room. Again, get on Patreon. Get the number, and I'll talk to you while you sit beside each other because you're best friends. And we'll talk about all your questions over an hour while I drink a cup of coffee, and then we'd be happy. Mate, otherwise stay on here. All right. But generally, what you're asking is both finishing year 12. Get into it early because it can be a long wait. And ADFA is important. And what I was going to say as well, and I've said this before, and I'll quickly go serious time. G'day, Daz. How you going, mate? Hey, Daz, we're starting to get a lot of information about what is going on as well with Roddy and Loretta. Through my mate going down in Canberra and trying to sort this mess out too. So the stone dropped in the pond created the ripples that are going to affect this family, I hope. Let's keep our fingers together and our eyes crossed. So, guys, what I was going to talk about was ADFA and general enlistment. Quite often I hear that when a recipient that wants to join the Australian Army, okay, what happens when they decide that they wish to go and be an Australian soldier, that some of the flack they get from is school. That is unforgivable. Right? The other bit is sometimes the parents, and sometimes it's their friends. But you got to remember, you're a kid when you're at school. You're going towards adulthood. We look at you and what you can be and what you're going to be. This is the deal. Almost everyone doesn't have a calling to do squat. Nothing. So they are scared and they are intimidated and they are threatened by the fact that you already know exactly what you want to do. That you are showing actions. You're starting to get fit. You're focused. Everything you talk about is where you want to go, what you're going to do when you get out of school. They might not have any idea. They might want to be a tradie, but are they passionate? Are you passionate about being an electrician? What is about electricity that gets you off? There's no electricity on Pornhub. Okay, is it about being a carpenter? You're good at it, but is it passion? I don't know. It's up to you. What about going to university? Are you old enough to have the maturity to be able to do that course, to follow it on, to be able to afford that HECS bill? You'd better get that right straight away. But the military, straight away, you're going to be one of the only people that gets out, that is inspired, that has a calling, that is getting your future framework, potentially up to 12 years ahead, all laid out for you and paid for, while paying for you and your food and your clobber that you're going to be laughing at 20 years later because your fashion was horrible. Setting up your life with the bowling alley, what do you call it? What's that shit that stops the ball from going in the gutters? So you just get pushed down a lane of success. You're the one they should be jealous of, not taking the piss out of. And if anyone at school has a problem you join the military, wouldn't you rather be making history than reading it? So that's what I say to you. You're the lucky one, and we're here to get you to your destiny. There you go. 80 Jibbers, yeah. We're going to get going in a second. Bumpers, thank you very much there, team. These guys help me out all the time, especially when I'm talking in tongues. Xander, g'day, mate. How you going? Good to have you here. Remember, team, this is the time to subscribe to the channel. It costs nothing. And I'm a Forever channel. I'm an Australian channel. And I'm the guy that's answering your questions right now instead of just putting up slick videos, hoping you subscribe without actually knowing who I am. You've only got to be here for 5 or 6 live sessions, and you know exactly the sort of dude that this guy is. And I am the way you see me on here. Freaky. But here for you, I'm your caddy. It's amazing how 17-year-olds fought in World War II. Amazing courage and bravery. It's all about the big adventure. It's not going to fight. It's going on the big adventure. People don't want to miss out. Yep. Ethan Hill, deleted by JC. Not sure what happened there. Mitchell Starr, thanks for the information, mate. Oh, Willie. Good to have you here, mate. Always good. Cane Pepper's hard yakka, 17 years old back then, were tougher than now. We live in good times. Good times make soft humans. But that's all right. That's the whole net positive of having a military that is sacrificed. You'd want times to get better, not harder. Xander, yeah, good, thanks. Yourself. You interact with chat so often. I care what you think about, mate. You know what? And for me to put myself out here for this many years in advance, the last thing you want to do in a country as small as Australia, in a place as wild west as Western Sydney, is be coming on here and making enemies. Yeah? Anyway, it's important to me that you're successful. It is. Luke, Jack, reservist infantry only do 6 weeks at Kapuka, that's all. That's okay, but they still do follow-up and they still do their enlistment, their IETs as well. Which country do you reckon have the best soldiers apart from Australia? Kiwis have got really good soldiers. British have got really good soldiers. America's got really good soldiers. All Western countries have got really good soldiers. All of them. Because they've been putting up their hand since WW1. Yep. Just getting involved in the fight. Not walking past the screaming that happens in the silence of the night. How often, hey Kaz, how difficult is it for people to transfer roles in the army? It can be easier, it can be hard. If you're going from a highly skilled, highly trained ROSO, Return of Service Obligation Corps, and you decide I want to go back to infantry, so I've only got to clean my rifle and my teeth, extremely hard. Okay, but if you want to go in infantry and say, I want to do my time in the trenches in the spear point of the military, shared by the CAV as well, and Special Forces, then it can be easy for you to go, okay, I've done my time with the pack on my back. I've got a few injuries, but what I want to do is now I want to upskill to prepare for a soft landing on discharge as I go to be a fully qualified military trained carpenter or become big rigs, which would be scary to get into because transport is one of those things that is probably going to be outsourced and redundant as the electric vehicles come in, i.e. a guy just is building 10,000 electric vehicles for UPS over in England at the moment. I don't think we're going to get electric vehicles, etc., for the off-road stuff for military. So that's going to be a core that goes on for good. Good. Could be to go to transport core, but go into bulk fuel, which one of our subscribers already does, so he can work for airports, aviation fuel, getting paid a fortune, working with logistics and HazChem. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, you can wear thongs to the shower. Don't do it, man. Don't do it. Take the tinea. Be a man. You'll have something to scratch for the rest of your life. There is nothing feels better than the breakaway of tinea as you go to town and scratches. You know what a dog is thinking when they're rubbing themselves on the carpet and they get that face where they go, oh. That's the same as when you scratch tinea. It's the best. If you see me at the beach, I'm not trying to catch pippies. I'm just trying to wear away that skin and you've got it forever. All ladies, do you think that guys with tinea are hot? Swipe left, Kaz. Ethan Hill. I used to be a Navy cadet. Okay. You reckon it's a good decision to go Army? It's up to you, man. I love the ocean. I'm going Army 100% because my grandfather was SAS. Good one. And I aim for the same position. Well done. I can't think of a better motivation than making your family proud. That's a big one. And your name will be on your chest, on the right-hand side because your medals will be on the left. And that gives you something to aim for. Never let down your family. Always do a better job than your family. Exceed. That's why the Roman Empire was so goddamn good. Hope not, Kaz. Going for RAC, for transport. Corps and want to have a job. Kate and Peppers, there will be, I believe in the next 10 years, there won't be a big rig profession in Australia or America or across the world. It'll be electric. Hey Kaz, just do full-time. Kaz will tell you, just commit to it. Yep. Don't stop looking at the horizon. Okay, stop looking at the horizon. Not try to walk on a tightrope. Let's not try to push the fart back into the butt. What I want you to do is make a decision. Do you want to be there? Is it your priority? Is it a calling? If it is, start the action. Start today if you're in jail, break out. And then from there, what happens is then you come back and you trickle feed us questions and we trickle feed answer them. No, actually we feed them promptly. John Rambo just wanted his country to love him like he loves it. And you'll know exactly what he means after you've served. Greg Palmer, Kaz, do they supply soap and a rope in Kapuka? No, but they do at the School of Navy. I was very quick to throw my soap at the plug hole, but high school certificate not needed. Just year 10, English and maths, depending on the subject. If you're going to go and be a tradie in the military, you might need 4 subjects, which is English, maths, science, and one other. SOS. Not so cow. Mate, leave your wallet at home, son. Don't take your wallet to town. Boy, you've had a really big weekend with us, mate. Go easy. It's too late to say don't, but thanks, man. Not so cow. DOS cows in the paddock and 1 squid in the net. 1 kraken in the net. Sophie, thanks, love. Hi, Kaz and team. Sorry I'm late. I'm starting night shift. I hope everyone is having a great week. It is a great week, and SOS. Let me tell you, we're about to get out of here. Summary for tonight. Okay, we've had some really good news. One of my mates followed up on what's going on with after the movement we started for Roddy and Loretta that has fallen through the cracks. And one of my buddies has rung Loretta now and given her his solemn promise that he's going to do what he can to put runs on the board to give their family the fighting chance of getting the support they need. I dare say they're not the only ones. I dare say this ripple has got out. I dare say that the people that watched, there is people that probably said, okay, let me do something about that. Let me meet Kaz halfway without people knowing my name. So really good. I'm really proud of you. Really proud, Thank you again for everyone who gave and everyone who joined us. Look, there were so many people, whether it was Lauren, whether it was bloody Buckaroony, whether it was Drunk Aussie, whether it was Daz, whether it was Blood Red Rose, whether it was so many people. JC, the moderators, the Patreon ended up giving $1,000 in the end. it's a great thing. It's a great thing, but the greater thing was it created the movement. When people care about one person, people start to ask, who is that person? What's so important about that person? And then they find out and go, oh, hand on chest, holy shit. What could we do? And sometimes the best thing, is the strings that get pulled as a result, not the finance that goes there once. But this, we've double tapped. They've got people coming from everywhere, hopefully now, to hear their cause. And let's hope that what we hear is great news come back so that we can tell you, that this was really worthwhile. And then we switch targets. But we always want to be positive. We don't ever want it to be negative. With Discord server thing, we could share stories and tips. Yes, please. Good name. I know what you did as a tactic there, so I read that out and then said your name. This is a dangerous channel to have Discord on. You can't afford to get a broken arrow that comes on here and starts talking completely outside the flags and getting us blown out of the water. It's got to be a trusted commodity. Also, we don't want uncontrolled chaos. Yep. I didn't even get year 10 maths and did 10 years in RAF. Yeah, I don't know how it worked, JC. They might have given you sympathy as a Kiwi, eh? Luke Maury, more than 40,000 applicants in the process as of June. And the scary thing is, Luke, there'll be a lot of wrong people joining. People joining for the wrong reasons. You join the military because it's a calling. It's not a job. If people think it's a job, one, they may not be a good team member, and two, they may not be resilient enough when they realise you can't pay me enough to do that bullshit. Sleeping in the rain. Don't you go out in the rain. So, team, let's wrap it there. Virtual handshake to everyone, but make sure you put some on it, just in case someone in Queensland touches your hand. Flubber and friends, there we go. How about a members lounge Discord? That'd be a consideration, but it would have to be. We'd have to look at what we can do. Flubber dubber, not too cow. Okay, keep up the good points. Keep them coming to us with your ideas, etc. Okay, team, let's get out of here. I'm gonna go and give my little girl a phone call to say good night. Let her know that there's something crazy under her bed to make sure she doesn't get back. To get out. Diamond Bravo, Kaz in back. Kaz in back? The RER, I'll check it out. Thanks. Nicholas, good to have you here, matey. And thanks for the weekend too, my friend. I don't know a ICNM. I'm not sure what that is. Take it easy, mate. I love your names. See you later. Nutsu cow. Okay. Calamari in the house. Take it easy. Consider joining. Get promoted. Back to channel that backs you today. The Forever channel, the Australian channel. The cool channel.